Thank you, Samir, for the introduction. It's really exciting, hey? This room is full of energy. Well, I'm really excited as well and pleased to be here in England, where the father of antibiotics, Sir Alexander Fleming, discovered penicillin in 1928. That discovery was a major milestone in medicine and opened a new era in healthcare, with subsequent development of many antibacterial compounds. Antibiotics have saved millions of lives. Unfortunately, however, today we are under threat by bacteria that can be resistant and not killed by available antibiotics. They are becoming known as superbugs. And despite the ongoing heat in press nowadays with Ebola, I can say without doubt that antibiotic-resistant superbugs are the world's greatest threat to human health at this point of time and in the future. And, well, because of there's a possible nightmare scenario in development, seeing infections such as urinary tract infections, which would be normally treatable, not becoming treatable, is really frightening. And that will be a major step back in medicine to see infections that we could treat it with antibiotics previously. And hence, the director of the World Health Organization, Dr. Margaret Chan, defined this as the post-antibiotic era, which means, and here I quote, it's the end of the post-antibiotic era is basically the end of modern medicine as we know it. Things as common as strep throat or child scratch knee could once again kill. This issue actually is not only significant to one part of the world, it's truly a global issue. And so we are at the dawn of a possible nightmare that can strike the entire globe. And that can be due to several reasons. One of them is the research of developments. New antibiotics has almost stopped. And the number of new antibiotics reaching to clinic are really limited. Not only that, but the existing antibiotics that are currently available are often missed and overused. And that is fueling antibiotic resistance. So let me take you through the research. One of the main initiatives in this area is the one by the World Health Organization to combat antimicrobial resistance, where global surveillance is one of its main pillars. In this context, we have developed the first network of collaborating hospitals at the University of Queensland Center for Clinical Research with the help of the Gulf Cooperation Council State Center for Infection Control to monitor the emergence and the spread of superbugs in the region and hopefully beyond. And our work is significant because it shows a very important element. It basically will act like a very important piece of the puzzle to complete the global picture of antimicrobial resistance. And we found a very important finding in our research because we noticed a dramatic increase over time in regard to antibiotic resistance in the Gulf region. In the 1990s, about 8% of the bugs isolated from clinical settings were considered to be multi-drug resistant or superbugs. As we entered the new millennia, the rate increased to the level of 33%. And of course, that dramatic increase has consequences. We have more outbreaks as well as increased mortality. There is a very important element or another pillar in the combating strategy, and that is the need for rapid diagnosis. Although we always acknowledge and recognize the need, the currently available technologies to identify if bacteria are resistant or susceptible to antibiotics are tedious and time-consuming and very conventional, despite the great advancement in technologies we have in this era, as we could see from the other talks. We spend days to identify if bacteria are susceptible to antibiotics, and here how the process is going. Basically, we take clinical sample from a patient for the attempt of isolating the bacteria that is causing the infection. And then we do antibiotic sensitivity on the bug. After that, we extract the DNA, amplify it, then decode the DNA, and that process is tedious. And it takes up to 5 days to identify what kind of superbugs that is causing the issue. Not only that, but also this process does not identify the kind of all type of antibiotic resistance that can cause the infection. And it's clearly that this process does not answer the need for urgent discovery or urgent diagnosis of antibiotic resistance. We've been working on rapid superbug test that has the capability to identify more than 200 superbugs at the same time, with in a matter of hours instead of days, with 1/3 of the cost of the currently available methods. And this test is still in development, and it needs further validation. But we also been working on another test that has the capability to identify a group of bacteria being resistant to antibiotics according to their proteomics profile and their capability to hydrolyze antibiotics. So hopefully the potential outcome of having rapid diagnosis of superbugs will lead to faster surveillance system, and not only a faster surveillance system, but also will allow accessibility for laboratories worldwide to have surveillance data, which sometimes they lack. And faster surveillance will hopefully lead to faster intervention, to faster implementation of intervention. And all of that will hopefully reduce the rate of superbugs that we have nowadays. And there is a very important issue to this as well. The cost of antibiotic resistance in the world is or let's take the United States here, an example for here. The cost of antibiotic resistance related infections in the United States alone is about $8.4 billion. And you could think of the cost that can associate with such infections globally. Before I end my talk, I would like to touch base on a very important issue, which is the issue of awareness. We would like to raise the public and medical awareness about the importance of using antibiotics wisely. In some parts of the world, including where I'm originally from, antibiotics can sometimes be sold over the counter, although that is illegally, without prescription. And our colleagues at the medical wards, as well as in the general practices, they sometimes can prescribe antibiotics when they are not truly needed. And all of that is basically fueling antibiotic resistance. So, and I think we could see clearly with Ebola nowadays that infectious diseases, the last thing they would respect is border. And that's why we see infectious diseases spread globally. And that is including antibiotic resistance. But we are fortunate because of the network of collaboration that we developed in the Gulf. We will be able to track the emergence of new antibiotics that could emerge, or the introduction of new antibiotics from other parts of the world. And in parallel to this, we have developed an awareness campaign to increase public awareness about the importance of using antibiotics wisely, using social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. But we would like now to expand beyond this by developing other multimedia tools, and we are very keen to publish that in traditional media channels. We are very thrilled that the significance of our work has been recognized by receiving the Rolex Award for Enterprise, because it will help us to advance our work, but most importantly, will expose it to the entire globe. And I would like to introduce you to the Antibiotics Awareness Day, although it goes for a week, though, starting from next week. And if you are here in Europe, please join us and tweet or do Facebook posts about the European antibiotics awareness. You will help a lot to communicate the issue to the general public. And for those who are watching us from United States, the next week as well is the CDC's Get Smart, Smarter campaign to raise public awareness about the antibiotics use, as well as in Australia, which overlap the same European and the US campaign. And please, just tweet, post, and help us to spread the word. And as you might imagine, doing this kind of work is not easy. It is absolutely challenging. But there is nothing else in the world I would rather be doing. Simply because I have a goal. And that goal is to reduce infectious diseases globally, and the billions are currently spent, are alternatively spent to improve the life quality of humankind on planet Earth. Thank you so much.